Welcome to Strange Gossip. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Taylor, and this is going to be like your friend's take on the weird.
Because we're tired of real life problems and want to talk about spooky shit.
Yeah, welcome back. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. Yeah. It's the day after when we're releasing this episode, so hopefully all was good, all was fun. The holidays, well, New Year's isn't a holiday, is it?
It's like the holiday season. Well, yeah, you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say the holiday season.
Yeah, like
New
holidays
Year's.
Holidays are over.
Yeah, it's done. We're about to enter the new year, new you. It's about to be very transformational. I feel like we're catching you all post gifts and like maybe some like hygge, snuggle, great times. And now you're going to like pivot and now it's all like self-improvement mode times 1,000. I feel like this just before New Year's is when everyone like panics about every goal they've ever set ever.
It's so true. And it's actually perfect time for like the uncomfy truth of it all because you have to sit there and think of all the things that you need to improve for the new year. So we're coming at you with some uncomfy truths.
I feel like we need to like apologize for like this episode already.
Yeah, listen. Catherine was like, should we release this on Christmas? I'm like, I'm going to be talking about dead bodies. So no. I think it's probably a bad idea.
Probably not it. So I hope you've had a lovely and cheery holiday, and we're going to welcome you into the new year with some creepy stuff.
Welcome back to Strange Gossip.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. Sums it up. Well, before we get into our uncomfy truths, Taylor, do you have any current topics you want to bring up?
Yeah. I mean, I released a reel on this probably a couple months ago now for you guys, but wanted to cover like the Sam and Colby thing really quick because it's kind of getting interesting. Like it's getting out of hand. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I only knew the first episode, so I got to go back and watch.
Okay, so we watched that episode that came out. I don't know if you guys know who Sam and Colby is, so I'll just like do a little intro for them. They're like, they have like 10 million subscribers on YouTube, so chances are someone's got to know them. But they're basically like, I want to call them young kids, but they're actually 25 and 26, I think. But they do like ghost hunting, and yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Don't laugh at me like that.
Because we're also young and spry and 25.
Yeah, for sure. Like 1992 was only 23 years ago, right?
Oh, yep.
Anyway, so they do ghost hunting videos and they like catch a lot of stuff on like, what are those called again? REM pods and like EMF detectors. They'll catch like voices and things. So anyway, they went to the Conjuring house and it was like their whole like Halloween kind of like episode thing. And they brought in Cody and Satori, which are, I've never heard of them before, but apparently they're also paranormal investigators. And they have this whole thing where if they like connect and hold hands or wrists, there's like knocking and they like do the whole alphabet and like ghosts can talk to them through that. Well, they released this whole thing. They did some debunking on it. Like there's a full 1 hour thing of them trying to debunk this.
Wow.
But after it came out, everybody was like, no, that's like the Fox sisters. And the Fox sisters were like something that they were a thing like way back in the day, but it came out that they were cracking their joints to make the noise. So there was this whole thing. People were like, they need to do it without shoes on. How can we trust it? And then Sam and Colby came out and they're like, well, like we were there and it was like crazy and you could hear it knocking around the room. And I don't know how they would do that. We asked them if they would do more experiments with us and they declined. And they're like, so if I know that's like the final nail in the coffin for some of you guys, but like we believe it. I'm on the fence of like, you don't want to do any more experiments? Toodaloos. It's really weird.
I love that. Bye, toodaloo.
Bye. We're done here. But then I guess there's all this drama that came out because I kind of like Sam and Colby. I'm not going to lie. Like I watch the videos. I find them entertaining.
Yeah.
Trent hates it. He's like, these guys are faking it. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like fun for me, but whatever. So it comes out later that they went to some other house and they were like being recorded on the cameras. They made some like they're like, young boys. They're not that young though, so we can't like write it off completely, but they were making some rude, inconsiderate comments about the female owner of that place or like the person that was working there. And then they like, girl, I can't say that on here.
Really that bad?
Yeah. I was just like, it was like a little bit of that kind of stuff.
What?
You're probably, if you're listening, you're probably like, what the fuck?
Taylor just did an obscene gesture.
Anyway, it was very much like that. Like, not good. Like, you don't want that shit coming out. But
and you're 25. They're old enough to know better.
They're old enough to not be like 16-year-old boys. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
But anyway, So that happened. They made like some stupid comment about that. And then they like broke some of their equipment or something. And the police ended up showing up and they had to like pay money or some crazy shit. So, and then they caught Sam like when he was like turning on the camera being like, first confession, none of this shit is real. And so people were like, is he talking about the shit that they're filming? It was really weird. So I don't know. Some people were like really pissed off about it. It's probably blown over by this point or like more stuff has come out. But
wow.
Yeah, Satori's actually, she's the daughter of one of the Taps guys, like the original guys in Ghost Hunters.
Oh, no way. Well, that's cool.
So that's why it came out that he's like a full-on bullshitter too.
Oh, man. I mean, that's kind of oh, man, this is the end of Christmas. The holiday spirit is gone after this.
The lure of that is just destroyed. I know. Like I guess we should need to do ghost hunting now.
Yeah, just we do.
Real
and
stuff.
I really want us to. I think that'd be so fun. Yeah, forget all these other YouTubers. I mean, I think that's what's like, I don't know, like a lot of like, because that just sounds so in line with influencer culture and like two kind of dude bros trying to like hunt ghosts. I don't know.
At the same time, like they could be true too. And it's just so hard over a video unless you're there experiencing that stuff that like it could be so easily faked, but it could also be so easily real.
It's so true. I don't know. Verdict is out. Yeah, because you can't. I mean, it's hard. When I watched the Sam and Colby. Something? Yeah. Okay. When you sent it to me, I loved it. I thought it was really fun and like well made, and they're so committed to even if it's a bit, they're committed to it.
Yeah.
and I love that. Like for the entertainment value, I was like, oh, this is just fun, good, spooky YouTube content.
Exactly.
But I immediately also thought of the Fox sisters, or that's their name. Yeah. I just was like, they're probably cracking their toes because I think that's how they did it. And so it's so funny that you mentioned that they need to do it without shoes. Yeah, I don't know. Because like a part of me is like, well, they probably have gotten so much press. I mean, 10 million subscribers on a YouTube video, like I don't know how many views that got, but if those other paranormal investigators aren't used to that level of fame, like that could even be enough. Like if they've gotten harassed or bullied or whatever, that could be enough for them not wanting to do it. Like 100%. It doesn't necessarily have to be them being fake, but unfortunately that's going to feed into people thinking they're fake. So it's kind of like a catch-22, which sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely part of it. Like, there's definitely a lot of like people that are really angry about it. Just like, it's literally like, calm down, guys. It's like literally entertainment. But if you are trying to pass something off as being true, it is a little bit awkward. So people were like, oh, are Sam and Colby in on it? Are they just they're saying like Cody and Satori, like, oh, we don't do this for money. And then there was like a video, I guess, that came out of Cody doing it without Satori. And like their whole thing was like, oh, like when we touch, it happens. And he was doing it without her.
Oh, that's
suspicious.
I smell a stunt.
I smell some suspicious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's it. That's all I wanted to cover because I know I brought it up, but I thought it was interesting when like they first dropped the video. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh, dang it.
Well, I have a current topic that's Did I talk about woolly mammoths yet?
Yes, yeah, you mentioned that. And then you know what's so fucking weird? I haven't been able to forget about the woolly mammoth.
I'm so glad. Since you never forget about the woolly mammoth. That is our spirit animal. That is literally our mascot. We love a woolly mammoth. I'm so thrilled.
I'm sure you are. I was sitting there like trying to go to sleep one night and I'm like, the woolly mammoths, man. Anyway.
I'm thrilled. It's great. And I can't remember if like, because I like sat down and I was like, have I even talked about it on this podcast? Like this is our 7th episode and I already am like, what did we even talk about? I have no idea. We just had a friend from Lahaina, shout out Wesley, stay with us. And he mentioned something on the pod, or I had said something. He's like, yeah, from the pod. And I was like, what? And he's like, you brought this up on the pod. And I was like, oh my God, I don't remember. I can't even remember what he brought up, but it was so funny. I was like, oh, I need to like start making notes of all the things. So woolly mammoths though. Okay, so it turns out there's a company in Texas that has set a goal to have a living, breathing mammoth by 2028.
Wait, how?
Okay, yeah, let that sink in a minute.
Like genetic test, like genetics?
So this company, Colossal Biosciences, is a de-extinction company. and they're going to try and bring back the species and ideally like a lot more of them to preserve them. So we're basically talking like some Jurassic Park level.
I don't know if this is a good idea.
I don't know. I don't even know how to feel about it, because on one hand I'm like, yeah, I could probably see a woolly mammoth and that's pretty much life goals. But the other side was like, I've seen Jurassic Park. I don't know how this is going to play.
It's so fucking hot now. Those poor things. Like, where are you going to put them? The ice is melting. Don't they live in the ice?
They do. Well, they live in like colder climates.
Well, but where is this company located?
In Texas.
Yeah, girl.
But apparently they're working on it like right now. And they're also working on bringing back the Tasmanian tiger and the dodo bird. Right now, they're literally, I know, that's like the Psyduck of Pokemon. Like the dodo bird is like, meh.
Yeah, you got it. Well, it's something.
But can you believe I was like, I saw that. Well, apparently the woolly mammoth way back, and gosh, I lost this article forever ago, so this is just me trying to remember it, but apparently it was they were really important for like the ecosystem and like how the earth like replenished themselves, or like just like for oxygen levels and all. There was all this stuff about the importance of the woolly mammoth. So I think the idea would be to bring back something that's really good for the earth too, but I don't know. A de-extinction company just sounds like
it sounds like a Series 1 startup that's just really just trying to be like, we're legit, I promise.
2028, guys, like that's not too far away. So let's keep an eye out and maybe we'll see one. Baby, I was so
that
excited
would be
about
insane.
This. I know. And a dodo bird.
And a dodo bird. Put it on the back.
Crazy. Okay, well, that's all I have for current topics.
Interesting. Okay, well, speaking of you're bringing back to life, I'm going to go back into a funeral home that's been not so great on the other side of life.
I need to take a deep breath for this one.
Yeah, this is why we're not posting on Christmas. So anyway.
Oh, man. My bad.
Okay. Wow. The owners of a Colorado funeral home were arrested, actually November 2023, so just last month, after nearly 200 decaying corpses were found improperly stored at their facility. I think it was 189 total. But so John and Carrie Halford, the owners of Return to Nature Funeral Home, were arrested on 4 felony charges, including abuse of a corpse, theft, money laundering, and forgery. Yeah. So Return to Nature offers green and natural burial services, which allow bodies to decompose underground without the use of metal caskets or chemicals. So they're not really embalming the bodies, and they're also not doing your typical cremation. They're doing it's like a watermation. It's really weird. Like they'll put you in alkaline water and your body kind of melts away, and then like your bones stay. It's really weird. It's basically like a more natural way to cremate, apparently. It doesn't sound fun to me, but
don't love it.
But
don't
I
love
guess cremation doesn't sound fun either, so I don't know. Well, the practice is actually legal in the state of Colorado, but the law requires that bodies that are not embalmed to be refrigerated within 24 hours of death, obviously to limit decomposition. Mm-hmm. So Fremont County Coroner Randy Keller declined last month to say whether the remains discovered at Return to Nature were intended for natural burial, but he did note that they were improperly stored. So some relatives of those whose remains were sent to the funeral home for cremation told the Associated Press that they believe they were given fake ashes composed of dry concrete. Can you fucking imagine getting your loved one's ashes back and being like this? And let me tell you, and this is sad that I know this, but like there's a distinct look to ashes. Like they do not look like concrete. There is like pieces of bone, and like you can kind of tell what ashes look like. And like the pictures, there's some pictures online. I'm not going to post them here because it's kind of like, you probably don't want to see
morbid.
But
yeah,
but they literally looks like a bag of concrete, which there's that. So some of the investigators actually for this are coming from, the FBI, because it's such a large amount of bodies. Yeah. And that team has also been dispatched for like mass casualty events, as well as like 9/11 and airplane crashes. So like, if you're thinking about this is a massive operation that they're dealing with. And I'll give you the timeline of events here.
Oh no.
I'm definitely uncomfy right now. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, this is,
it's morbid. So Yeah, so October 3rd, investigators learned of a horrific odor coming from the Penrose Funeral Home. On October 4th, state investigators spoke with John Halford. Documents say he told them he was learning taxidermy and knew he had a problem.
Oh, that's already a bad start. Oh, I hate that. Oh, that's
what are you
already
talking
a bad
about, sir?
start. Yeah.
Okay, well, then he set up an appointment to meet with the investigators, and then he didn't show up.
Ooh, that's already so suspicious. Okay.
So what you doing? So that's when law enforcement officers obtained a search warrant and made the discovery of bodies, quote, stacked on top of each other, some not even in body bags.
Oh, no.
Investigators said the bodies were reported they were reported to the state to have been cremated or buried, and that some of these bodies dated back to 2019. They've been sitting in there for a long, long time. So the EPA actually requested that the funeral home be demolished.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like it's just kind of like, that place can do no good after this, so we might as well get rid of it.
That once there's no way they're gonna stay in business, obviously.
No,
and
oh my God, no
way any business is gonna want to go in there after that.
Yeah, apparently, it's just fucking disgusting in there. It's really sad. It's a sad.
That's pre-COVID. Pre-COVID bodies were in there. Oh yeah. God, I hate that. Oh, I don't like this.
And it's so sad because there was actually stories, if you watch some of the news things, there were people that went and scattered their loved ones' ashes, and then they actually ended up being one of the bodies that was identified was their loved one's body. So they definitely did not get ashes. And you got to think all these people, you go to this place because it's kind of a natural thing, more natural than your typical funeral home. And then they're just sitting in there decomposing. And what the fuck does he mean he's doing taxidermy?
I know, that is so suspicious because truly, to get to the point where you have so many bodies on top of you, that is so, he's so doing all this on purpose. All of this has such a purpose. So what is he getting out of this? And that's just where it gets so creepy.
Here's some of the theories. Some of the theories are, because I was what could this guy be, what is happening? Yeah. Some of the theories is he ended up being really financially unstable if you look back in his records and things. So they think that the cremation sites, because funeral homes a lot of times kind of outsource the cremation activities. And so there's reports of these cremation places being we don't work with them anymore. We stopped working with them because they wouldn't pay their bills. So they're thinking that, all these bodies are stacking up because they don't have enough money and they're running into financial troubles. And so they're here's a bag of concrete,
because they don't have the resources.
I'm sorry, but don't the people pay for you to do that? Wouldn't you charge the cost of that to actually get it done? Yeah. Unless
he's super financial and he wanted the money for other reasons.
Well, that's probably it. He probably had back debts that he was probably trying to pay, but I don't know. I think there's more to it though, because why would you say taxidermy? Some people think that that's his way of throwing off the police from the smell of it.
That makes sense.
But I don't know. Your first thought is to go there. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't love it. Oh, that is so creepy. And just so sad because you're taking advantage of so many people and their families, and death is already so complicated. Oh God.
It's such a sad time.
Yeah,
and all those poor people. I know it's their bodies, and if you think the soul has left, but still I don't. That's so uncomfortable to think about.
Yeah, and kind of the grieving process is already so complicated. So if there was families were going to go spread their loved one's ashes somewhere, and then to realize you did it, and then you have to redo that situation, it just brings up a lot more trauma. Oh man, oh that's awful.
Yeah. So it's still, it's yet to come out what the court system, what exactly they were doing with those bodies and what the plan was. But I had heard those Tupperware containers from Target that you put your Christmas decor in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard it was that type of situation, but they didn't want to they're trying not to comment, right? For
of course, legal
to help the families, and also it's going to go through the courts. So, but yeah, that's, and the fucked up part is when I was researching this, This is not the first time a funeral home in Colorado has come under investigation. Back in January 2023, a Colorado funeral home operator accused of illegally selling body parts and giving clients fake ashes was sentenced to 20 years in prison by federal court judge.
Oh my God.
That's the beginning of this year. What do you mean? How are there 2 funeral homes doing this in Colorado?
Oh my goodness.
In this case, on dozens of occasions, Hess and Coach, the owners, transferred bodies or body parts of third parties for research without families' knowledge, according to the U.S. Justice Department. The transfers were done through Sunset Mesa Funeral Foundation and donor services, and families were given ashes that were not those of their loved ones, authorities said. Hess, you know what? I'm not even going to pronounce your name correctly. You don't deserve it. Yeah. And Koch also shipped bodies and body parts that tested positive for or belonging to people who died from infectious diseases, including HIV, hepatitis B, and C, despite clarifying to buyers that the remains were disease-free.
Okay, so this is like all across the... I mean, I guess if you're going to be bad, you're going to be bad everywhere, but my God.
What do you mean? And you know what? You want to know what their sentence was?
Oh, don't... Please be at least like 25 years.
6 counts of mail fraud and 3 counts of illegal transportation of hazardous materials. That's it.
How is that not like... Oh, man.
Like, that should be worse than murder. I don't like it. Should be,
or should be somewhere
murder.
in there. Like, what? Yeah, wouldn't that be like what was the charge of the other home that like
the first
messing
one
with the body, like messing with the corpse?
They were doing, it was accounts of abuse of a corpse. Then they had theft, money laundering, and forgery.
But I'm like, where's the abuse of a corpse in the second one? Like, I feel like
real.
that would be the obvious thing.
Well, what they probably did is entered like a plea deal to get that released.
To at least get something.
Because
oh my God, that's so frustrating.
The court system's like crazy. Like, you can like sign into a plea that's like basically says that you're not guilty, but you're going to accept the sentence.
That's crazy. That's like a world. I don't know. That's where things get so lost. And I understand that the legal system, sometimes you just have to be happy to take anything, but it's like this feels A plus B equals C a little bit. You know what I mean?
I say bring back like public hanging. Fuck these people.
I love this.
You know what I mean? And like, fuck your funeral. Like, you're going to hell. I don't like what?
Yeah, that is so unfair. So unfair. Sometimes I feel like we're so far along in society where we've overcomplicated so many things. And I feel like a lot of the legal system is kind of that, where I'm like, these people did really awful things to bodies
without a question.
Like we have it. So why is it so complicated to get, you know what I mean? And like, I understand that there's so many laws and loopholes and things, but it's like, we've gone too far in a direction that's preventing like true justice for these families. And we're talking, that one home is like 189. Is that what you said? That's
189.
Those are
you know how many families that is?
Oh my
like,
gosh.
There's probably like, I don't know, there's at least a couple of people that are involved in all those families. Like, the amount of people that's impacted.
Oh, it's hard. It's just heartbreaking. Yeah, just to like re-traumatize all those people and then just to get a weird mail charge. No, pass.
Yeah. I don't know. Bring back eye for an eye. I'm here for it.
I love you. I love that. I mean, obviously I'm a little bit more extreme. I was about to say, I'm not as down as the public hangings, but I do think we've gotten to a place of like overcomplicating certain things and like people knowing how to like work the law. And I think that's so fucked because I'm like, we need to be able to like, again,
put you away
like
for life.
Like if you're doing the crime, the punishment should match it. And the fact that they aren't is really disgusting. Oh my God, I'm so mad.
Well, sorry guys. Welcome back from the holidays. Welcome to Uncomfy Truths. I'm really hoping yours is uncomfy, but not like this type of uncomfy.
It's not. Okay. It's uncomfy in a very different way.
Oh no, I have a feeling this is targeted at me, but
it accidentally is. And I feel like I need to like blanket apologize because if you're currently eating, maybe stop. Maybe stop.
Oh
I mean,
God,
honestly,
stop.
though, yours was
Is
pretty
it-
bad too.
Okay, let's see. I'm scared.
I feel like maybe we should have a safe word specifically for you because you are
Is
not.
it vom? Is there vom?
There's vom.
I hate vom.
Do you want to explain your relationship? When's the last time you vomited, Taylor?
I have literally back in high school when David Jackson, sorry, oh, probably shouldn't name you like that. Fuck it. You drank off my icy in the movie theater and then I threw up that night and I'll never forget it. And it turns out that's my husband's best friend. So that's really cool. That's the last time I threw up.
Which is so funny because, like, yeah, Taylor and her husband have known each other since we grew up. So all of the people, all of the players, like in their circle, we just all know each other. We're from a small town. So it's so funny that, like, we can pinpoint back to the last time you threw up because of a childhood friend.
Well, and you know what's really sad?
What?
I shouldn't admit this because he might listen. Sorry, David. Anytime you come over to my house, I give you a specific cup to drink off of.
Okay.
Because just in case, for whatever reason, like your spit makes me throw up or something. Because I don't know, like I think it was because I ate too much candy, right? But like I can't get it out of my head. So you do have a specific cup when you come to my house, and I do make sure it goes into the dishwasher very quickly. I'm so scared of throwing up, you guys.
It's literally gonna be like, what the fuck, Taylor?
I literally hate it. I can't stand it. A movie will show someone throwing up and I'm like instantly nauseous. Like,
Oh God. Okay. Well,
all right.
We're gonna brace ourselves for this one, and we're gonna get through it together. If you
Okay.
are listening and watching right now, maybe put down the fork for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, deep breaths, everyone, because today I'm covering the Kentucky meat shower.
Ew, okay, have heard of this. But does that have to do with vom?
We'll find out.
Okay, great.
All right, so obviously it sounds like a bad internet video that would have been shared around in middle school, but the story is exactly as it's titled. On March 3rd, in 1876, Mrs. Couch was making soap on her porch when she caught something fall out of the corner of her eye. It wasn't supposed to rain that fateful day in Olympia Springs, Kentucky, but she figured maybe a storm blew in. Nope, it was raining meat. She watched as what appeared to be chunks of red meat fall from the sky all around her in almost a snowflake-like manner.
Snowflake. I would assume that shit would be like hail.
What? Right?
like literally, like I can hear the
Splat.
splat. It's kind of funny that she was making soap too, of all things.
I know. She's like, well, we're going to need more of this. I mean,
Yeah, right.
But so most of the meat pieces were around 2 inches by 2 inches, with the largest collected sample being twice that size.
Gross.
And a weird piece to this, the meat was fresh.
I didn't need that. Well, I guess it's better than
Rotted.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't get much better from here. So
Oh, great.
this went on for several minutes between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. And enough mystery meat fell that could, quote, fill a horse wagon.
Is it just in like one area? Mm-hmm. Ew, someone's like literally like instead of egging her house, they're like meeting her house.
Okay, but that might have been such an expensive thing to do. Like if you were going to pull off
Yeah,
that prank, that would have
right?
been expensive.
For real. I mean, eggs now are expensive. I'm going to be like, my kids aren't doing any of that. You're not spending TP, eggs, nothing.
It's not going to happen. Inflation ruining the pranking market. Just
Sorry.
collapsing. But truly, what a flex would it have been to be like the richest person, just throwing meat on someone's house. Oh, I hate it.
That sounds so bad.
I
Okay.
hate it. Well, so never experiencing obviously anything like this before or after, Mrs. Couch and her husband believed it to be a sign from God, a leading theory of the time, considering there was no definitive explanation, and there actually still isn't.
Oh, really? It's totally could be a prank then.
It could be that. I mean, add that to the list of theories. I have a couple crazy ones coming up, and you're gonna be like, "What was the logic?"
Okay.
Anyway, so Taylor,
Yeah.
let's say you're nearby, and you hear about the falling meat, the raining meat.
The snowflake meat, first of all. Okay, yes.
What is your first instinct to do?
I would literally just go inside. I'd be like, not my problem.
So you wouldn't go and like check out the meat?
No.
Or like
I think
go
I'd
and
be
touch
grossed
it?
out. Ew, absolutely not touching it.
Would you maybe say you wouldn't volunteer to eat it?
What the fuck is wrong with people in Kentucky? Girl, no.
Well, so that's what two unidentified men decided they'd do.
Oh, and here's where the Vaughn comes in. Okay.
Probably unidentified also for a reason. Like, I can only imagine someone asked them, like, who are you? And they just looked at each other and were like, immediately knew staying anonymous would keep them like judge free from their family and friends.
Ew.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they had to have known it was weird then. They had to have known that's not okay.
I can see them being like barbecue guys though, and they're like, let's just throw it on the barbecue, man.
I really think that was
Crack
the vibe.
a Bud Light and get
There's some strange meat falling from the sky. Let's throw it on the Barbie.
They're probably like free meat, solid. They said it was fresh.
Yeah, it looks fresh. It's like there's a ton, and it's expensive of the time.
Oh, no.
Oh, I hate it here. Well, so they, in fact, did try the meat, and they said that it tasted like either venison or mutton.
Ooh, so it's like gamey. Mm-hmm. Well, I never had either of those, but it just sounds gamey.
Okay, this is like, we went to Montana, and I had venison for the first time, and it's so good. It's delicious.
Is it? Oh,
my
wow.
gosh, it's
Okay.
incredible.
Interesting.
David's mom's side of the family, they do a lot of hunting in Montana, so they get a lot of like fresh meat, and we get to benefit by visiting them. So it was great. So maybe it was a good time for them. Maybe they did have them. I mean, I don't think I would eat mystery meat from the sky personally, but...
Is it much different when you pack it, when you get it from the store? Like, where'd that come from? You know what I mean?
Honestly, great point. No one, who's to say that someone's just not catching falling meat from the sky and putting it in
maybe that's where meat comes from and we've been lied to. This is a larger conspiracy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, new conspiracy is that the government then came over, took over the reigning meat cloud, and that's actually the leading meat supplier
I feel like
in America.
I literally feel like I have to like do a disclaimer that we don't actually believe that.
Yeah, we do not. We do not. We're just having fun.
Yeah.
Or are we? So stupid. I love it. Okay, so that was them. And by the time others arrived to the town to investigate the next day, the meat had spoiled and dried out. So can you imagine you get a report to go check out raining meat and you arrive to a wagon's worth of small chunks of meat across a large area that's rotten?
How large is the area? Do you know? Like, is it like a
They
cul-de-sac?
don't have it, but it sounds like it was like a good chunk of this town, but where this location
But only
was, it was like a
wagon's worth?
farm because there were 2x2 chunks. So if you picture a 2x2
nuggets.
chunks filled into a wagon, that's like pretty
That's a lot of
significant.
chunks.
And it
Okay.
was only went on for a couple minutes, the snowflake rain. But it covered like I think around their farm area.
They're not snowflaking.
And when people
That
went
woman
to
is sorely
investigate,
mistaken.
oh no. God, did it like float down? Like how did it not just splash?
It did. She was tripping. My eyes are watering from this story right now.
Sorry, it's gross.
It's okay.
It's
Keep
so
going.
gross. I hate it here. But yeah, some people first to the scene would explain the situation of meat just everywhere on the land. Some of it was getting stuck in different fences. Like, could you imagine the cleanup? Like, you have to go out and just remove rotten meat.
Dude, I don't even like cooking meat in my kitchen because it grosses me out. Like, I just sanitize everything after. So I can't even imagine it just all over my yard.
Like stuck in places, wedged into places. No.
Do you know if this meat was like ground meat?
No, it's chunks. Specifically.
Oh, okay.
Chunks.
It wasn't. I was picturing like ground chunked meat.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't
just
grounded
chunks.
and then put into it. They were chunks of 2x2 inches meat.
That's worse. Actually, is it? Because if it was ground, it'd be harder to get out of things.
Yeah, ground meat would dissolve faster.
Why am I thinking about this so much? Okay, keep going.
Welcome to my life in the last week of researching this. This is going to be your new woolly mammoth. You're just going to be sleeping and be like, where did that come from?
Let's hope not.
Oh my God, I'm living. Okay. So it would take at least 3 months to get an official explanation of the fallen meat. Leopold Brandeis received and analyzed some of the specimen and declared that the meat wasn't meat at all, but a bacteria. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Nose stalk, also known as star jelly, troll's butter, and spit of the moon. I hate that. I hate all of those. I hate it. Ugh. Nope. Well, it grows into a jelly-like mass whenever in contact with water. So because it's so inconspicuous when dry, people believed it would float on the breeze and then water and rain would touch it and then it would bring it down like hail.
Why am I tripping for the people that ate a big chunk of bacteria right now?
I know. Well, so that was the official theory, the first official theory, but it doesn't align with the texture or the taste. So nose stalk appears like a green seaweed kind of jelly-looking thing, and this was clearly red meat chunks.
Yeah, so, green to red, very different.
Very different. And like a jelly to like a meat, it just didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And it would also take a lot of water for the amount of meat. Like, you're thinking again, meat-filled horse wagon. Also hate that. Like
a meat field sounds worse.
Meat field? Oh, no.
Oh, I mean, that's kind of like that, though.
That's kind of what happened. Oh, I hate it.
Okay, all right.
But like the amount of water it would take to this bacteria to produce would have been so much, and there was no storm. There was no actual storm. There was no water.
No clouds.
There was no clouds. It all just rained down.
Rain down from the sky. From the sky. Not even a cloud. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It just came down from the sky, but it was a
came
clear
out of like
day.
a meat chunker. It was like a tree. Someone put a cow through a tree
grinder.
Thing.
Like a bajillion cows. I thought like so many cows. I hate it.
So many cows.
So many cows. So another scientist, Dr. A. Mead Edwards, conducted his own experiments. Oh, I hate this too. On the samples of meat and came to the creepy, uncomfy conclusion that it was likely the lung tissue of a horse or human infant.
Are human infants and horse lungs like similar?
Apparently very similar.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know.
Those are two very different things.
I just like to imagine scientists back in the day, and they're like looking in it, and this one guy's like, hundo P, it's the jelly bacteria. And then the other guy's like, nah, dude, it's for sure lung tissue. Probably a horse or maybe even a human infant. Like, what conversation is this? Like,
what is...
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it here either.
I would bet horse, if anything, because that'd be a lot of like human infants.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like, okay. Do you remember dead baby jokes?
No, this sounds terrible.
It's awful. I'm so sorry. But this is middle school, peak millennial middle school. Like if you were thankfully I don't have an example of one at the moment.
Okay, good.
But in middle school, a bunch of people would tell dead baby jokes. It was like very common. It was so weird. Being a middle schooler is so uncomfortable. It's just the worst. I don't remember that
at all.
So eventually, 7 samples would be studied by several scientists, all coming to the same conclusion that 2 of the samples were lung tissue. 3...
Okay.
I'm not even using my fingers. It doesn't have to happen. Okay, so eventually 7 samples would be studied by several scientists, all coming to the same conclusion. What? I got there eventually.
You gotta leave. Because I'm not gonna make sense. What's happening? Okay, keep going.
Oh my God, this is why I keep a separate little bloopers tab, because
yeah, for real. I'm crying.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, fine, I'll leave it in.
Okay.
For anyone that's not watching us, I tried to count on my fingers and did a really weird job.
I 5. Well, you said 3 and then you held up 5.
Well, because I said 2 and then 3 and then my finger got
But then
caught.
you got to 5.
Well, because 2 samples and then 3 other samples and then other 2.
No.
Play the tapes back. Play it back.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
I got ahead of myself. Okay. All right.
Nobody else finds this funny, but let's
I know. We're having a great time. That's all that
We're
matters.
great. Yeah, true that.
That's so funny. Oh, it's a button.
my God.
I thought that was a love. Okay. Bring it back,
Okay.
Catherine. Okay. Eventually, 7 samples would be studied by several scientists, all coming to the same conclusion of 2 samples being the lung tissue, and then 3 to be muscular tissue, and then the additional 2 other samples to be cartilage.
Oh, so it's like an animal.
That's
for
what
sure.
it's feeling like, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, regardless of the meat and what it was, like how the heck did it get there? How did it rain meat?
Yeah, let's hear. I want to know.
Okay, one theory.
It's about to rain meat behind me, Jesus. Hey, come here. Kavika, you're about to get attacked by the cat. Come here. Dum-dum. Okay, sorry.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's good. He's not raining meat.
That's great. I'm glad
Yeah.
to hear it. Although dogs would love that. Are you kidding?
Oh, he'd be so on that.
So pumped. Potato we used to live in Brooklyn, kind of near a Popeyes. And so people would go to Popeyes and just throw their chicken bones on the street. It was awful.
So gross. Ew.
So gross. But Potato, it was like heaven. She was like, sweet, free chicken bones, which is like the worst thing a dog can snack on.
Yeah.
It was awful. Ugh,
Jesus.
I think about it all the time. Oh, no. Nope.
That's New York. It sounds very
For
New
real.
York.
It really was. Oh, an era. Okay. Okay. Flashbacks almost. Okay.
At least it's not Kentucky. Okay, go
Oh
ahead.
my gosh, not this. Okay. So one theory was an intense knife fight gone wrong elsewhere. Someone literally brought up the idea that a giant knife fight had happened and somehow the wind swept up people's...
That's not a scientist. That is a hillbilly.
Like, the amount of mental gymnastics to make that fit is...
I know.
Like,
That's too
unreal.
much.
Unreal. Okay,
Denied.
but get the next one. Another idea was that it was cosmic meat.
Ew.
Like
aliens?
Like a real meteor shower.
Like an alien burned up in the atmosphere and he's just got pulverized.
Honestly,
Ew.
that almost makes more sense.
That makes way more sense than the sword fight.
But this is the theory. The theory that they had presented was that there were animals on another planet, and then that planet had reached the end of its life. So like the planet like exploded, and so the animal meat had to go somewhere.
And it traveled how many fucking light years to Earth? But it came fresh though.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is wrong with people? Holy shit.
I like wish I was making this up, but that was legit a theory, and I was like crying. I was like, this is crazy.
Not to like diss any people that live in Kentucky, but like what is going on in your brains?
What was happening at the time? They were inventive.
Yeah.
But the leading theory that is most commonly believed today actually has to do with vultures.
Ew. I can see that.
As the theory goes, a flock of vultures gorged themselves on a huge meal and either got startled, needed to expel the food in order to fly higher, or their meal was so bad and they happened to be flying by when they all started to throw up. I'm so sorry.
But they threw up like 2 inches. That's pretty big. Wouldn't it be liquid?
You would, I mean, there's a lot of,
I don't know how they.
this is literally the leading theory today. Like, this is all
That's
they have.
the
This
lead.
is-
That's okay.
This is the
I
most,
literally think that it went into a tree trimmer thing.
and then
There
it
was
just,
a cow.
but they didn't have those in 1876.
Oh, did they not?
Like a that you would like a wood chipper thing?
Yeah.
No way. 1876?
Why do I feel like that's not that crazy?
That's 1876.
Man killed in wood chipper incident 2010. Okay, never mind. That's the first thing that pops up.
2010 and 1876 is a smidge.
Listen. No, Timber Wolf TW 232, what the fuck? 230 VTR tracker shipper. Tracked? What am I saying?
I don't know. Honestly, it's like a different. The tractor, the M77 500 Timberwolf, rar 725 wood chipper from 1876. Girl, there's no wood chippers in 1876 that would.
I'm gonna have to do more research. The animals are fighting.
When was
I swear to God
wood chipper invented?
Oh, that's probably better.
Okay. 1884. That's not far. That's not far. But it wouldn't have been like the electric ones.
They could have been in research and development. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it's better than most of these series.
I mean, honestly, though, yeah, actually, never mind. I'll take this.
Right? Anyway.
That's so stinking funny.
Ew.
Okay. So there are two species of vulture in Kentucky, the black vulture and the turkey vulture, both known to projectile vomit their stomach contents. So that's why it's the leading theory today. And apparently when they fly in flocks, they do have like if one of them throws up, they all kind of throw up.
Oh my God, they're like me. They're like, ew.
They're like a sympathy throw up.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, we're all doing this. I'm in.
Oh my God.
It's terrible.
That's funny.
But there's still no definitive answer. Like, that's just kind of the best they got, but it doesn't necessarily, like, they don't have enough, and it doesn't really quite make enough sense. But they still have samples, like, from back in the day that they still do tests on ever so often. But
interesting. We'll have to see if, like, something comes of that.
Oh, man.
Can you stop? What? No. You want to be chunks of meat? Come here. Dum. Sit. Yeah. Wow.
So, moral of the story, always carry an umbrella.
Ew.
And also, if you're too embarrassed to give your name when you're doing something, you probably shouldn't do it. Like, don't eat mysterious
whatever
meat.
happened with them? Are they chilling?
They were fine. Apparently, I don't know.
I thought they were going to be the ones vomiting.
But that's...
I'm shocked.
I know. I mean, they might have. Who knows? They were anonymous and they bailed afterwards, so... That's the Kentucky meat shower.
That's so gross. I'm so uncomfortable today.
It's a real uncomfortable, truthy day.
Yeah. It's something.
Oh my gosh. What are your takeaways from today?
Dude, don't die in Colorado. As sad as that
fucking
is.
real. Sorry for the language, but Jesus.
For real. Don't die in Colorado and literally stay away from Kentucky.
Yeah, avoid mysterious meat falling from the sky.
Ew, something just like triggered me to like Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh no.
I'm so grossed out right now. Ew. I'm not eating meat for dinner, that's for damn sure.
Well, Taylor, this has always been a delight as always.
Yes.
And
well, yeah, next it's our new season after this. We've gone through all seven.
Happy end of the first season, Taylor. I'm so proud of us. This is so cool.
I know. Well, we'll see you guys in the new year for season 2. Nuts. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. We're excited to continue. We'll have some New Year's resolutions. Maybe. And then, yeah, we'll go from there.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next year.
See you next year.
Bye.
Bye.